Let's go.
Hello, my name is an STD, and today we will be talking about something even more deadly, anime. Because I love having the chance of getting a girlfriend reduced to zero, I saw
Crazy.
several anime this season, just like always. And today I'm being joined by my good friend Plasma Energized, because I figured
Hello.
having a girlfriend is gay. Let's be gay!
This intro is AIDS.
It really is.
About
I have the worst fucking intros because I can't do shit without a script. I really can't.
honestly, it's horrible.
But I'll give my overall impression of the season before I say anything, which is it was fine, I guess. It wasn't a bad season.
Mhm.
There were some pretty good shows that
Yeah.
came out, but nothing like masterpiece like. Honestly,
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
it was a pretty disappointing season, honestly, compared to because last season was quite solid.
Yeah.
I can't remember much off the top of my head, but it was a pretty good season. This season is good. It just kind
I
of
mean,
exists.
considering I'm meant to be the person who watches 16 seasons in one season, the fact that I've only seen like nine is a bit abnormal for me. But
Yeah, that is
uh,
like really weird.
yeah.
But do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You can go first. Why not?
All right. What do I want to talk about first? I'll Well, actually, I think a good microcosm of how I feel about the season can be tackled with Urusei Yatsura Season 2, which
Uh,
it's a remake of the original 80s series. First season was quite funny. I enjoyed it. It wasn't amazing or anything, but it made me laugh. There was the occasional wholesome moment amongst all the chaos. And, like, it was a good series. Season 2 is more of the same. However, by the end of the day, it is ultimately an episodic comedy, and I was getting pretty burnt out with all the seasonals that I had to watch.
mhm.
So I figured I gotta drop something, and unfortunately, it ended up being that. As a result, it probably belongs more in like C tier, but like it's still a good series. There were some genuinely funny
Mhm.
episodes. There were some genuinely wholesome moments. I think it's a solid B tier, but just like there's not much for me to really talk about or discuss, and I feel like that's just
Okay.
gonna be the theme for a lot this season. It really did feel a little
Yeah.
dry.
hmm Uh, I'm gonna go with uh, go on the second one. The second one.
All right.
This I'm gonna put in C tier, I guess. It's nothing amazing, but one thing I like about it is it's an isekai, but it's not the classic. Your main character's like insanely overpowered, can beat up anyone with their pubic hair. It's actually quite the opposite. It's someone who's extremely weak to the point where uh they are wanted for murder because they don't have like skills and stuff in this world, in this isekai. They have nothing. Um so even their parents want them murdered. So they run away, change their identity, and it's honestly it's good. I don't remember too much about it, so that's why I put it in C instead of anything higher because it's not too memorable. But it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice for an isekai, I should say. It's pretty nice.
I forgot to put on Wii Shop Bossa Nova, so the video's good now. You always gotta have Wii Shop Bossa Nova on when you're
Exactly.
talking about anime for $15,000. No, though the Wii Shop Bossa Nova sounds great. I love it.
hmm
It's a little. All right, that's good volume. Um, but I'll tackle something else this time. I'm actually gonna talk about Free Ren. Free Ren came out last season, and then we got the second half. I really like it, and I started warming up more to it the longer it went on. I've been pretty vocal about how I really don't get the free run dick riding in the anime community. I mean, I do get it in one case. She is hot as fuck, but the
Yeah.
anime itself is it's really good. It's really good, but like better than Full Metal Alchemist? Are you fucking kidding me? No. Just no. Better than Steins Gate? No. That's cap. Fucking cap. Um. Uh, I don't know what it is about Frieren that didn't quite do enough for me. I think that what it is for me is the fact that for as good as the series is, it definitely feels a little directionless in where it's going, which on one hand that's a good thing because it makes it unpredictable and every arc is exciting as a result of that. But on the other hand, it makes me not really know what I'm watching this for. I didn't really need to have a reason for that when I started watching anime a few years ago, but the longer and longer I watch anime, I realized that's something that I do genuinely need more of in order to really invest me, because I've just seen way too much fucking shit at this point.
Yeah.
So maybe my opinion on Frieren is influenced a lot more by just how generally apathetic I am toward anime in general. As sad as that is to say.
Damn.
But like, it's still a very good series, and one thing that I particularly like about it is the fact that it breaks a lot of new ground for anime, and it does a lot of cool, unique shit. Because like a non-isekai fantasy series is pretty much never heard of nowadays, and Frieren does so much to. Because like at first its fantasy world seems extremely shallow and uninteresting, but the longer the series goes on, the more you realize how interesting these characters are and how they interact in this world, and like it's just such a solidly well-written series in general. One of my favorite characters is actually Stark. He's introduced kind of like the Zenitsu-like character. I thought I was going to fucking hate him. He's my favorite character by far.
Okay, good.
Because what I like about him is that he acknowledges that, yeah, it's okay to be scared. That this world is fucking terrifying. But that you can use that fear as a strength in order to perform better. He's not going to hide his feelings, but he's also not going to hide the fact that he can go up to the task, because he is genuinely talented and strong, and he does overcome those mental barriers multiple times throughout the series. It's a very realistic showing of what a character like that is like, while Zenitsu's just insulting dog shit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then I also really like Fern was a character who I feel like really excelled in the second core. In the first core, she's just a really funny sort of like Fern's just kind of always fed up with Friren's bullshit. because Frieren is over 1,000 years old. They don't exactly relate to each other. And there's a lot of comedy bounced off of that, and Fern's general toward everything is directed towards Stark a lot too, because he's just kind of an easy punching bag. But one scene that really hit hard for me in the second core is when Fern is talking to another character called Sense about why she feels nothing about being as strong as she is, because she is one of the most talented mages of her age, because she was trained by Frieren for her entire life. And to see her reasoning for that being to see the smile on Friren's face whenever she journeys with her, as opposed to actually getting stronger, it struck a chord with me, because I mean, it's something that I can relate to myself, having a more difficult time with my own creative pursuits, and seeing that sort of be reflected upon in Fern was nice to see. Frieren's such a weird series to talk about, because like the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, yeah, this is such a well-written, excellent series, and like I can't put it in an S tier though. I just can't for whatever reason. Something is just inherently stopping me in my mind from enjoying it as much as everyone else does. And that bothers me, because I want to love Frieren as much as everyone else does. Because it is a really good series. I give it A tier.
Yeah. I have to say, it's very surprising that it is number one on my anime list for this long as well.
Yeah.
Normally, the Full Metal Alchemist fans will start a stampede and put it down, but it's still holding up strong, and it's not even that close, to be honest. I mean, 9.39 versus 9.09, not even close.
Yeah, and at this point,
So-
Free Ren's. This is the first time I think I'm ever gonna say this, but I think Free Ren is the definitive #1 on my anime list at this point.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna change anytime soon.
Yeah.
Which is it deserved? I don't know, because I only watched like 3 episodes, because I had too much shit on my plate. Which I will watch at some point.
Yeah, it's worth
So
watching.
I can't give my opinion on whether it should be #1, but the fact that it is #1 kind of shows that it is something.
Yeah, another thing I really wanted to compliment Free Ren for is that, because Free Ren is of the, she's similar to characters like Violet Evergarden, Fushi from To Your Eternity, where her archetype is kind of like the I need to learn what human emotions are like because I'm either traumatized or just straight up not human. Free Ren falls into that archetype, and usually these characters are really fucking boring because because many writers see this archetype and go, "Oh yeah, I'll just make them emotionless and boring without giving them any quirks or personality." Free Ren is weird and quirky, and that's why I absolutely love her. She does all this stupid shit, like always falling for chest traps, even though she's fallen for them like 700 times at this point, probably way more than that given her age. And seeing Free Ren exude these weird traits like these are what make her feel human. It's what makes her entertaining to watch. Like, Free Ren is a genuinely really fun protagonist as a result. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Free Ren. Very good. Does not deserve to be #1 on my anime list. Not even fucking close.
Do you want to go with one of mine again, or do you want to go with something we both saw?
We'll go with one of yours, and then we can.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Mashal. So season 1, I think I put in D tier. Season 2, A tier.
Damn, it's that much better.
Yeah, honestly, I really liked Mashal. It was really good. Everyone knows that the OP slaps. Pretty much everyone's heard that at this point.
Yeah, it's so good.
And one thing, the main reason why Mashal is so much better this season is season 1 was all about comedy, no story, which didn't work for the series. It doesn't work because the comedy's fine, but not incredible. So it was really boring. But season 2 came and they actually did something with the story. They made it somewhat serious. And what I like is they didn't totally abandon comedy. You still get some comedy, but now because it's mixed in with like actual story, they're a lot more funny because it's not just unserious. You get so when they do come, they're a lot more noticeable because they don't happen as often now. And now the series is actually like doing something. I honestly enjoyed every episode. I was looking forward to every episode that would come out. Really good. I can't really fault it. Obviously, it's not an S tier. I'm sorry, it's not an S tier.
Yeah, it's like a Mashal.
But it is very good. It's very good.
Yeah, it was actually the opening that made me realize, yeah, I gotta eventually see this one day. I'm a massive fan of Creepy Nuts as a music artist.
Honestly, with Mashal, you could skip season 1 and it wouldn't even matter really. I mean, you could maybe watch like the first couple episodes, but season 1 had fuck all in it. I don't even know how I got through it, to be honest, but I'm glad I did because season 2 is great.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way with Attack on Titan, hilariously enough, where I just don't like the first like 2.5 seasons, and then it starts getting really good after that. I don't know. I could probably stomach getting through 12 mid-episodes of something to get to good stuff, though. That's way easier than, like, I don't know, 30. Granted, I just have a lot of hot takes of AOT in general.
Yeah.
Anyway, off to something that I watched. I'll talk about The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil. It is... Yeah, on my anime list, it actually doesn't have a particularly high score. Like, it's a 6.4, which I think is it's a really kind of weak score, honestly.
Yeah.
And like, I don't really see it. Don't get me wrong, the animation looks like ass, but like, like it looks bad. Genuinely looks bad. One of the character designs is one of the character designs for the side characters. She's like the outgoing archetype, and like. She would be really cute, genuinely, if she was animated by a competent studio, but she just looks fucking weird and out of place in this series. It's so fucking, sad.
I'm not exactly surprised if fucking Children's Playground Entertainment is the one who made this.
Yeah, I've never even heard of the studio before this one.
I'm looking at what they've made, and I can see why it's shit. That's what I'm gonna say.
But yeah, because like, it's not an amazing series. For the most part, it is a pretty standard romance series. And the fact that it doesn't have particularly good animation either really bogs it down, unfortunately. Which I think is sad, because like, the actual story isn't that bad. It's genuinely pretty unique. Because you have this dude who's a demon. He wants to recruit new people into hell to like stop an ongoing war or something. I don't fucking remember. It doesn't really matter that much. But then he meets this angel girl named Lily. And she's like, haha, I'm gonna capture you, demon. And then she puts a collar around him. And in the first episode, I'm like, oh shit, this is some fucking wish fulfillment for masochists, isn't it? This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be fucking bad. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind having Lily step on me, but, like, come on. I'm watching this. I'm watching this for actual plot development. God damn it! But thankfully the series didn't end up going down the road of her just torturing this poor demon.
Yes, poor demon.
It's actually pretty wholesome. As she learns to grow that he is actually a pretty good person, that he's not faking anything about being a demon, and how they eventually learn to trust each other despite the fact that they were supposed to be enemies. It's I mean, I love myself a forbidden love story. Those are some of my favorites. I'm rewatching Beastars right now, and that shit is fucking peak. And this kind of falls into the forbidden love archetype too. It's not really as well executed as something like Beastars or The Fragrant Flower, Blooms of Dignity, but it's still a perfectly solid enough watchable series that has its cute moments. It made me feel something, which is better than I could say about something I'd put in like B or D, C or D. I actually don't think it's as good as Super Saiyan Hatsura Season 2, because that made me laugh a lot more, but it's a perfectly decent series. It's like low B for me.
Let's see. Go with the second one. It's detailed. It's fucking. It's Isekai, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's a guy. He likes his sister. His sister's not like that. But
if it was like that, it'd actually be fucking good.
He wants to, his sister's sick, so he wants to save his sister, so he did some bullshit. He was part of the heroes party or something, but he got kicked out for some reason. I don't remember why. Something happened. Nothing. I mean, there was like some. I don't remember this shit. It was isekai. That's all.
Alright, I actually want you to get through another isekai before we get to something that we both saw.
Okay, go to the second one then.
Alright.
Second one, I'll put top of C tier. I liked it. I mean, it was like he got isekai'd, right? But he wasn't meant to be. It was kind of like a mistake. There was like two people in the school who were meant to get isekai'd, but he kind of just came along for the ride. But he was able to use healing magic, which is like really, really rare. Only one person in an entire kingdom, like 3 people in an entire kingdom can use it. So he gets trained by this woman, right? And she basically tortures him like if he was a masochist, that would be like his dreams. But I don't think he was. So it was kind of like really bad for him. But he became like best strong. So like he's a healer, but he's like buff as fuck. He's like he can punch the shit out of people if he wanted to. And like he goes to war like the Demon King's army kind of, and he used healing magic to knock out someone, which is why it's called the wrong way to use healing magic. And it's fine. It's nothing good. It's nothing bad either. But there was some funny moments, which is why it's in C tier instead of D tier. There were a couple funny moments.
Yeah, it seems gimmicky, just like all the other fucking isekai you watch.
Yeah. It's like one thing that was nice was one of the funny things was so basically you've got the main character, right, and then the two people who are meant to get isekai, there's a guy and a girl. The girl, like, she's like massive otaku, so she's loving every second of this. Like, she might die in like 3 days, but she's excited for it because she reads like light novels and shit. And it's a funny running joke, which probably single-handedly puts it up in, not single-handedly, but it's one of the reasons why it's not D-tier garbage like the other one.
Yeah, honestly, the idea of an isekai starring a character who watches and reads isekai, I think is a fucking hilarious idea for an anime that has to be made.
I think there are probably some.
I feel like
I've seen a couple where there was one where someone programmed a game and he got isekais into the game he was programming, or something like that. But it's bullshit. It's bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The idea I feel like could only really work if they took the Konosuba route and just made fun of the genre the entire time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
By which of the both saws do you want to see first? Do you want us to talk about first?
I don't mind.
I'll go with Apothecary Diaries first,
yeah,
I
but
think.
Yeah, I'm good.
I want to save Classroom of Elite for last.
Yeah, yeah, same.
I watched Apothecary Diaries and I really don't get the hype. I thought it was fine.
I loved it, man.
Yeah, we have like completely different opinions on this one.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain yourself first.
Basically, Mao Mao is like, I love her. She's such a good character.
Yeah, she carries the series on her back.
She hard carries the series. And I think I just really like mystery type anime, like Apothecary Diaries, and the interactions between Mao Mao and Jinshi are like amazing.
Yeah, I grew to really love Jinshi by the end of the series.
Yeah,
so many people in the Mal forums are fucking trashing on my boy Jinshi, and it's like, he just wants some peak pussy, damn it! Fucking let him have it!
Allow him. He didn't do nothing wrong. He doesn't do anything wrong the entire series. That's why it's funny when Mao Mao's just kind of like, fuck off.
Yeah, because Jinshi is like genuinely kind of awkward around her too, because he's like, holy shit, for the first time I actually love a woman. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And like it's so fucking cute seeing all of his like his weird schemes and seeing him break into some new mannerisms just when he's interacting with Mao Mao trying to woo her, and she's just like, no, fuck off, bitch.
Yeah.
It's so fucking entertaining. Really like those are my favorite scenes in the series by far.
I really like the last couple episodes as well.
The last couple episodes are the best episodes of the series by far.
Definitely.
They are so good.
I agree. They were so good.
Like Mao Mao's dad, I was kind of expecting him to just kind of be like a one-note antagonist sort of character, but no, he has a fleshed out backstory. It's genuinely really tragic and sad. I felt shit watching that. Like, it was good.
I walked away from the series feeling satisfied, which is rare for a series that's, because obviously when you get a series that's really, really good, you want it to continue, but with the Pocket 3 Diaries, I was happy. When it ended, I was happy. It left
Yeah.
on a good note.
I was surprised
And-
that the second season announcement happened like immediately, and that it's not even going to be coming out too far in the future.
Damn, so sad.
Yeah, 2025, baby. Probably winter, I imagine, even.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I don't know, though. I think, I was actually debating on whether I even wanted to see Season 2 or not. But if Season 2 is going to be anything like the end of Season 1, then I think it's worth checking out. Because,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know, Apothecary Diaries didn't really do it for me. It has it's a mystery series, and similarly to Hyoka, it's kind of more like an episodic mystery series where a lot of the mysteries aren't particularly important or noteworthy.
Those are the type of mysteries that I like. The episodic ones, they're great.
Yeah. When I was watching it, I'm just like, Hyoka's better. I'd rather watch Hyoka.
Oh, I agree with you on that, but I don't think that means the Apothecary Diaries are bad.
I mean, I suppose, but like, I don't know. Because I really fucking love Hyoka, and like, I've been meaning to rewatch it for a while. So watching Apothecary Diaries, I'm like,
Yeah,
I
fair
should have
enough.
started the Hyoka rewatch instead.
Fair enough.
Maybe that's what dragged it down for me. I feel like I kind of unfairly rate Apothecary Diaries, and then I feel like some of the mysteries as well are kind of boring, honestly. Not all of them,
Fair
of course. Some of the mysteries were pretty interesting. I liked the series more going into the start, and then I kind of slowly lost steam as it got more predictable. And then, of course, the final arc saved it for me. That shit was great.
Yeah.
But everything else in between, like the introduction and that point, it's a blur. I barely remember any of it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels blasphemous to talk about the series this way too, because like anime fans are really fucking loving it. But
Yeah, I think it's. What's its rating? Let's see.
it's like an 8.81 or something.
Yeah. It left the top 50, so sad. But it's doing well, yeah.
Yeah. My ranking would be like B tier.
Cool.
I guess we can average with yours.
I mean, I think we should put. I put it in S personally.
Yeah.
Do you want to just put it in A?
Yeah, we'll put it in A as the compromise.
Alright. Put it above Mashal, by the way. at least put it above Mashal. Mashal was good, but come on.
All right, and then do I want to talk about the better one or the more fun one to talk about? I think I'll talk about the more fun one to talk about. Gushing over Magical Girls was a fucking fever dream. I picked it up because Zonic was like, "Yo, Aiden, watch it, please. I've been fucking obsessing over the show for months now," because he's a manga reader. And I'm like, sure, fuck it, I'll watch it. Why not? I haven't seen any Yuri, so that could be a good introduction too. It looks horny as fuck, but I'm fucking desensitized to that shit at this point, so I don't fucking care either way. Like, remember when we were doing the Kiss Exist watch party?
Oh my god, that was something.
Yeah, we can agree that Kiss Exist is bad.
You know, my friend actually completed it and said it was like a 4. Which is, at least, that's not the lowest he's rated, and he rated Mushroom Season 1 lower than Kiss Exist.
What the fuck? Well, like, the surprising part about Kiss Exist, though, is that I was expecting something with, like, a plot, because those are, like, the entertaining incest series, like Orimo or Domestic Girlfriend, particularly Domestic Girlfriend. Orimo is like actually genuinely good until season 2, but and then so I was kind of expecting that with Kiss Exist, and then Kiss Exist turned out to be just really fucking horny. It's classed as an ecchi, but it kind of felt like borderline hentai most of the time. Gushing Over Magical Girls is tagged as an ecchi. It's basically hentai.
Yeah.
It is so fucking horny. Like, there's constant nudity. Utena's always doing all this weird fetishy shit to the magical girls. And despite all of that, the series is genuinely good, and I'm going to have to explain why. At first, the series is pretty simple. Utena's like, oh, I love magical girls. I fap to them every single day. She isn't actually like that, but we don't. She becomes like that later. But... And then she gets picked by this mascot character to be the villain? What? So, Atena's like, no, I like magical girls. How could I be the villain? I don't want to be the villain. But then after testing out her powers, she realizes that she is a big fat old sadist. She really loves torturing the magical girls. It makes her penis expand.
Oh. Okay.
Sonic wishes. If there was Fudo in the series, Sonic would change his rating from a 10 out of 10 to an 11 out of 10.
Oh god! Favorite anime of all time.
So, at first, the setup is mostly just comedic. And like the idea of Utena having to juggle her normal, really shy personality with the ultra sexualized and very plot heavy powers makes for a lot of genuinely funny moments. I laughed quite a lot at the start, and then it starts introducing more characters too. Kiwi is I fucking love Kiwi. She is so entertaining. Because she is everything bad about a person put into a character, and I fucking love characters like that. She is like, you know Aqua from Konosuba? She's basically just that. She's super horny, super mean, just a terrible person. And that bounces off really well off of Utena, because Utena doesn't want to be bad until her horniness takes over, of course. Meanwhile, Kiwi's just a genuinely bad person. And then they introduce another character later on, Kurisu. She does nothing. The 2 episodes they dedicate to her are fucking boring and the worst in the series by far. But then after that, the series gets good again, because then they introduce the fact that there's a whole magical girl villain faction, and that and that their specialty is killing magical girls, or taking away their powers. The series doesn't make it clear. And one thing that I thought was super interesting, and I thought that was such an interesting way to sway the story too, because like Utena doesn't want to remove the powers of magical girls. She just wants to indulge in her lust while continuing to be a fangirl. And that is such an interesting contrast with this villainous organization that makes for a genuinely really interesting story about what Utena's gonna do after this. Because, like, Utena defeats the the previous runner of that organization, and she becomes the leader. And it makes me wonder, okay, what is the mascot character cooking? Because, like, the mascot character is probably wanting something really special from Utena, but, like, Utena doesn't want to do any harm to the characters outside of the weird fetish shit. So it creates this genuinely really interesting dynamic and dichotomy between these characters that keeps me on my toes, alongside getting boners at all the fucking horny shit going on.
Okay.
But like it's a genuinely good series. I really can't put it in A or S, because I'm never ever recommending this anime to anyone. It's such a massive barrier to entry to recommend this to anyone.
Yeah, from the screenshots I've seen, I can see that.
Yeah, because like this shit's horny as fuck, like super horny.
Yeah.
And if you can't get over that, then you can't enjoy the series, despite the things that it does bring. And some of the earlier episodes, too, before we get introduced to these more plot-related elements, it'll become hard for certain people to stomach all of that. And even when you know the plot elements, the show arguably gets hornier after that. Because Utena gets more and more unhinged as the series goes on. Like, that's good for like characterization and shit, but it's not for everyone. And I understand that it can't be for everyone. And honestly, it wasn't really for me a lot of the time either. Which like, It's fine. I would say it's like a high B tier for me. It's a genuinely good series, but at the same time, it's not on the level of anything I put into A tier, which is how I feel about a lot of the anime this season, as shown by what my rankings have been so far. But like, out of the B tier anime I have, Gushing Over the Magical Girls is the best one. I was pleasantly surprised watching it. I did not think it'd be as good as it was.
Nice.
Alright, Isekai time.
Isekai, go for the first one. I'm gonna put it at the top of C. The story isn't that good, but it's adorable as hell. I'll tell you that for one. Basically, a woman gets isekai, right?
Yeah.
And she the god like goddess or whatever asks her like, what do you want? And then she's like, I want cute animals. So she's got this ability, like any animal, be her friend. So when she gets isekai, she's literally a baby. We see like the entire story revolves around when she's about 3 years old. But the moments in this series are so adorable because you've got like fucking like this this fucking massive tiger, right? Who's meant to like control spirits and shit. No one, he don't warm up to no one apart from his owner. Immediately, she runs up to him and starts hugging him, and then the brother is her best friend throughout the entire series. And she also becomes best friends with a dragon, like massive dragon, and ends up like being like their sworn ally or something. I don't know. But honestly, the story, there's stuff happens. It's not amazing, but it's just very adorable seeing the main character and these animals interact. And that's it, really. It's just adorable. I'd almost say.
And then next up is Leveling While Solo. That is totally the name.
Yes.
Alright, so gushing over solo leveling is pretty good. Oh man, the joke was too easy to make. I'm really divided between like low A tier or high B tier for this one. I feel like it needs more time to cook.
I can back that, you know. I'll put it high B, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's probably where it belongs.
I think solo leveling. So, I didn't pay too much attention to the anime, but I read the entire manhwa, and I did look up where it finishes, just to make sure. I think it's great. It's obviously everyone's really, pretty much everyone's seen, like they've heard that solo leveling is coming out. It's done very, very well. A lot of people have been talking about. I know Mr. Beast was watching solo leveling.
Yeah, like Mr. Beast watching fucking solo.
Yeah, he was what. I remember there was like an episode 7.5 which set the internet on fire for some reason. This happens a lot, and they were getting very unfairly. They were getting some unfair hate over an episode 7.5.
Yeah,
it's not that
like,
deep. I'm done.
Have you seen the amount of anime that A1 Pictures had to work on? Like, the delay was more than justified. So, like, working conditions are so shit in Japan that I think getting mad over that episode is genuinely insulting for the animators that pour so much fucking effort into these series.
Agreed.
I am way more passionate about this topic than I thought I'd be. Holy shit. I just don't like seeing animators getting disrespected, because, like...
Yeah, it's fucking hard work, man.
I'm a huge fan of this medium, despite some of my takes this season. And, like, I really care about all the anime that get released.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel like we also need less anime to come out. Because too many anime are being released. Animators aren't getting enough time to work on anime because there are so many anime coming out. And it's like, stop working on, like, fucking Lamau Isekai number 5000 and just, like, give animators more time to cook on, like, shit that's actually good.
I have a feeling that if Free Run was released, like, 4 years before, even, like, 3 years before, it would not be number one, because it would be good, but not number one. But because there's so much coming out, I think that's boosted up enough about Frieren. For Solo Leveling, my main thoughts are Solo Leveling is great, but not the best that manhwa has to offer. So if anyone watching really likes Solo Leveling, pick up another manhwa. I'm saying Omniscient Reader, my favorite manhwa. Fucking amazing. Because I agree Solo Leveling is good. The ending less so. But yeah, Solo Leveling is good, but there are more that manhwa can offer. Like, a lot of it is similar to Solo Leveling, but if you like it, then give it a try, because it's good, but not the best that manhwa has. There's better out there. But yeah, Solo Leveling is great, I will say. But I think top of B tier.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. To give my thoughts on Solo Leveling, I really like the idea of like a dude who's super weak getting like one of the strongest powers. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty derivative of like My Hero Academia when you boil it down that simply. But the series are so different tonally that I think it works out. Because like My Hero Academia is really optimistic, like, oh, look how much you've grown, Deku. This is just really wholesome and sweet seeing Deku succeed. With seeing Jinwoo succeed is genuinely kind of depressing, honestly. Because like he has all the strength now. He's become someone who has the potential to be a fucking universe-ending threat, and yet there's kind of a pain to that. That I subtly see in Jinwoo throughout the series. I have no idea how the manhwa ends, but I do genuinely think that a solid ending for it would be something along the lines of Jinwoo getting into a quest that's way too difficult for him, then he just fucking dies in the middle of it because he got too cocky. I mean, like, I could see that happening genuinely. Because, like, he does all this ballsy shit because the system forces him to do all this stuff, or gives him the option to do something, and he's like, yeah, fuck it, I can take the extra levels, because he's so dead set on getting his mom out of that coma. And like, yeah, I feel like I'm watching someone get closer and closer to touching the sun, and when that finally happens, I feel like he could seriously fall from that. I think that's what makes Solo Leveling such an interesting watch for me, because he constantly does all this risky, really dangerous shit, and you just want him to succeed, because like he barely got out alive and during the inciting incident. Yeah, and when he and his motivation is something that you can get behind too. You don't really get to know his family or anything, so it's not like. It's not like I'm like that invested in like the motivation. It kind of reminds me of Demon Slayer somewhat, but it's better than Demon Slayer in this case, because Jinwoo's an actual character, unlike Tanjiro, who's just good boy who does good thing. Despite that, though, I don't really feel like season 1 has done enough yet. It's just been interesting world building, interesting character building for Jinwoo, but nothing particularly crazy has happened in season 1 yet. I'm waiting for that holy shit moment, which I guess we kind of gotten with the cliffhanger of episode 1. That inciting incident is so fucking investing. Oh man. Yeah. I honestly think the series peaked in like episode 2.
Yeah. Honestly, I can I can definitely agree with that. In terms of season 1 only, I think it definitely did peak around the beginning.
But like, it's still a really solid series, and it feels weird saying that too, because like, I'm not really a big fan of like shonen series, and even though this isn't explicitly a shonen, it feels very shonen-like in a lot. Oh yeah, definitely. And I think the reason why it feels so refreshing to me is because it's not Japanese, it's Korean, and that gives it a unique vibe and a unique perspective that I wouldn't have gotten from anything else. And it's for that reason that I think I was able to be so enthralled by it the entire runtime. It was a really solid series. I'm honestly surprised it didn't blow up more than it did.
Honestly, I agree. But it's good. I'll say that.
Yeah. All right, and then I got to talk about A Sign of Affection. Oh, didn't you watch the first episode of it?
I watched the first couple episodes, but I had too much to do. I couldn't.
Honestly, fair enough.
Unfortunately.
I think A Sign of Affection is the #1 pleasant surprise of the season, where I came into it thinking, it'll just be wholesome. It's not going to be anything too much more than that, and it was more than that. And don't get me wrong, it's not so much more than that I consider it to be a masterpiece by any means, but it's a very strong series. I would put it in the A tier. And I think the reason for that has to do with the fact that there is a surprisingly high amount of characters in this. And seeing all their perspectives around all the other characters and how they interact with each other and how that affects them is genuinely pretty interesting. And a lot. If I were to do an elevator pitch for what A Sign of Affection is, I'd say, oh, you know A Silent Voice, right? And how it's super fucking depressing. Well, this is A Silent Voice if Shoko had a not terrible life. And don't get me wrong, one thing that I actually really liked and was not expecting is that the show does go into detail of explaining that Yuki's life is genuinely hard. That being deaf is a real challenge for her, and that she can't do a lot of things because of said disability. And yet, despite that, the series is very uplifting and positive. And don't get me wrong, Silent Voice is as well. That's why it's my favorite anime. But while A Silent Voice has that uplifting message happen after a lot of really sad shit happens, Sign of Affection is okay, we'll be realistic with you for an episode or two, but now she's dating this absolute hunk of a man, and she's happy now. Everything is sunshine and rainbows now, and it's it's a little tropey and whatnot, but it's cute, it's wholesome, it made me smile. I really liked it. One thing that I was initially scared of watching the series is that Itsuomi, the main guy, would just be really boring. Shoujo anime kind of have a habit of that. And don't get me wrong, I'd argue that shonen romances kind of have the same issue as well. But with shoujo romances, it feels for me as a male anime watcher, it feels more on the nose as oh, they're just appealing to the female fantasy. This isn't really for me. But granted, well-written shoujo are some of my favorite romance series. I mean, you know how much I absolutely adore Kimi ni Todake, for example.
Yes, I do.
And with A Sign of Affection, I wasn't too impressed by Itsuomi the first couple of episodes, but the longer the series went on, the more I went, yeah, this dude's pretty fun. He has such a nonchalant and kind of blunt way of looking at everything, and the fact that his actions genuinely annoy the other characters sometimes shows that yeah, this dude is a human. He is a real person with real human thoughts, and other people aren't going to see him as this perfect guy, which I thought was genuinely pretty refreshing. It was nice to see that side of him be characterized more throughout the rest of the series, as opposed to him just being the mangaka's fantasy. Which, to be fair, most people who write romance can go about it that way when writing their character of the opposite sex. I fucking did with my novel.
Yeah.
But you gotta give them more depth too, and they definitely did that with Itsuomi. The side cast is really strong too. Yuki has this friend, I believe Rin is her name, who is the bubbly and happy sort of archetype. Her voice is really relaxing too, by the way. The voice acting in this show is really good. Yuki's voice actress does an adorable performance as her as well. And then And so then that side character is attracted to one of Itsuomi's friends. They eventually get together later in the series in a way that feels a little rushed, but like they're side characters, it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
And then you got Oshi. He very obviously has a crush on Yuki, but he fucking denies it the entire series. I don't think he once says that he's attracted to Yuki. Because he just spends the entire series teasing her, and then he gets really fucking defensive when Itsuomi is with her. And, like, he still can't admit to himself that he loves Yuki. He's like, I hate you, Itsuomi, fuck you! And then Itsuomi's like, bro, I'm just trying to live my life. Why are you even like this? He's like, because I can protect her better than you. And he's like, but I'm trying to learn sign language and shit. I'm actually putting the effort in. I'm not a bad person. That's not how Itsuomi reacts, though, because, I mean, that's not really in character for him to react that way. He's like, yeah, I suppose so. Itsuomi's more of the type of guy who would go, yeah, let me show it to you, that I can protect Yuki, as opposed to like actually arguing about it. And then there's another side character. Jesus fucking Christ, I forgot how bloated this cast is. Who is a childhood friend of Itsuomi, and is attracted to another friend of the friend group, but that friend is attracted to Itsuomi, and he's in the friend zone the entire series, and he's like... So he feels really nervous about telling her about his feelings, and how and how about Itsuomi is dating Yuki now, because, I mean, Itsuomi would never actually tell people about the fact that he's dating her. He's just like, yeah, this is how life is now. He's one of those characters who really does not consider the consequences of his actions. Doesn't really consider the feelings of others outside of what's directly in front of him. And, like, that's what makes him attractive to Yuki, but it's also what makes some of the side characters annoyed with him.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like, when they're not doing all that, like, interaction shit with all the side characters, the series is just genuinely really fucking cute. Yuki is... I fucking need to protect her. She is adorable. I fucking love her. She is... I'm gonna go on a limb and say she is just straight up the best girl of the season. And, it's not even like she's a particularly well-realized character. She's just really fucking cute. Oh yeah, this is an underrated part of shoujo anime, in my opinion. No one realizes that the girls in shoujo anime are just as cute as the girls in shonen romances. At least in my opinion. And then... actually, one thing about shoujo guys that I appreciate too is that as a man, I can kind of insert myself into that position and go, damn, I want to be like that guy. So like I genuinely feel like there is appeal in shoujo romances for men. It's one of those genres that I really want more people to experience, because it is a pretty underrated genre. There's not very many shoujo anime being made anymore. And A Sign of Affection is a sign of the fact that shoujo romances are genuinely great, and that more people need to give them a chance. And like looking at the Mal opinions too, people are really liking this one, and it makes me really hope that we get more anime like this. It really was a breath of fresh air to watch this one, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like this... I don't think it's the best anime of the season. Free Run is probably better. But it was such a breath of fresh air. I really like this one.
Nice. I'm gonna go with my next one. I'll put it in B tier. Below Solo Leveling. Obviously, I'm not gonna anywhere. This one, I like this one. It's second core. So I'm not gonna go. Actually, I'm trying to remember. I don't think I actually talked about it in the last season video.
Yeah, you didn't talk about it in the last season video. You talked about it in the year in review video, but we were more brief than that one. So
yeah, this one's great. basically, the main character is someone who loves playing like really shit games, full of bugs, stuff like that. But one day he decides he's gonna play the most popular game there is, and he plays the game, and so he's playing the game, right, and doing shit, and then he ends. So in this game, there are like 7 really strong monsters, like god tier level kind of, and he actually runs into one and survives in combat with. He dies, but he survives for a while, so he gets these marks on his body, which end up starting like this new side quest for him that only he can do, and he meets this rabbit who he travels with and stuff. And it's really, there's some funny moments in there, I have to say. Some really fucking funny moments. And honestly, some of the fight scenes in this one are so good. I didn't catch up to it fully, but I did read the manga. I'm gonna catch up to it now that it's over. Well, we have one episode left, but it's not gonna change my opinion. But yeah, it's good. I liked it. It was very fun. Some good scenes in there. Good characters, and yeah, not much else to say about it.
I can't believe it. I was debating on if Free Run was actually the best anime of the season. It's so obviously Classroom of the Elite Season 3.
On God, yeah.
I don't know if I could really justify putting it S tier, but if you want to put it S tier, then
I think we should put it in S tier just so something is there.
Yeah, because like it is the best anime of the season. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like it's Classroom of the motherfucking Elite. I mean, it's gonna be good.
I'd consider it S tier on my own, but it because I fucking love Classroom of the Elite, man. It's so good.
It's so good. I feel like it was better than season 1, but I didn't like it quite as much as season 2. And the reason why is because everyone knows that the adaptation is rushed. I mean, everyone talks about that. Watching seasons 1 and 2, that wasn't that obvious. Like, I never really felt like it was rushed watching those 2 seasons. Watching this season, it was so fucking obvious that it was rushed. Certain episodes, like the first 2 or episode 12, it just kind of went like, felt like they were speed running a certain arc or a certain ending, which is a little underwhelming.
I really liked season 3, especially towards the end. I really liked the scene with Suzune and her brother Manabu. Honestly, fucking love that, and I think it signals a big change that's gonna be going on with Suzune going forward. And I'm honestly really excited to see how that plays out. I'm probably gonna read it.
I'm gonna have to read it too, because like I heard
I don't want to
so
wait.
different from the anime that
Yeah.
I just gotta read it.
Yeah.
Because I really love the anime.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't fault it. For now, I mean, yeah, the adaptation's a little bit rushed, but I really love it. I think
trying to think about like specific things, specific aspects of why
Ayano Koji.
So and like Ayano Koji is always the heart of everything, because like the reason why Classroom of the Elite is as good as it is because of Ayano Koji. He hard carries the entire series.
The show does like revolve around him. Not obviously it does because he's the main character, but like the story revolves around him without anyone realizing it, kind of.
Yeah, because like he's the secret mastermind of the entire fucking school. And like I think it's so interesting seeing him take that position too, because like it doesn't even seem like he particularly even wants that position, really. He's
I think I think he does it kind of out of necessity, which I find really cool. It's not in the type where he's like kind of forced to do this shit. He's like I like how he's like kind of forced to do it in the way that he does the bare minimum but still manages to make the entire school revolve around what he wants.
Yeah.
To the point where he literally had to get nerfed in the competition versus Class A. He literally had to get nerfed.
And like, I really like seeing Aina Koji's character too, because he's someone who's so bored, and like you never once does his expression change. I don't think I've ever seen him feel a single emotion of any kind.
Oh yeah,
throughout the series. And it's like the main thing that drives me to keep on watching Classroom of the Elite is because I want to know what will change Aina Koji, who will change Aina Koji, who, or at the very least, who will get him to feel at least something.
Yeah.
Because there are many characters who could be decent candidates. Like Suzune was the first person that he talked to. She could possibly do something to spark an emotion out of him. Karuizawa is the person that who's pretty much hyped as like the girlfriend material for.
Literally happened, bruh.
It literally happened at the end too.
How do you feel about saying you want him to get with Diggy? You said it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I'm a hardcore shipper between Aina Koji and Sakai Inagi now.
Yeah.
I really do think that, because like
I got what I wanted.
I think it's funny too, because like Sakai Inagi is the person who I want to have to change Aina Koji, because like I feel like they just through their perspectives and through how they were raised, that she can actually get on his level somewhat. However, Season 3 also showed off that Aina Koji is beyond what she is capable of, which also makes me think that it's not particularly likely that something like that could happen, which sucks, because I want this shit to be canon, goddammit. Funnily enough, I think a character like Ryuen even has a chance of getting Aina Koji to feel something, because like just break Aina Koji. Maybe that'll be the way to finally get him.
Nothing will break Aina Koji, trust me.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting though, because like despite the fact that he feels nothing, he still chose to enter the school over staying in the White Room.
Yeah, because he said he likes the place. He likes his life there.
Yeah, and I want to understand more about why he likes this school and why he wants to take a breath of fresh air away from the White Room. Because like the White Room is, from what we see, is a genuinely abusive place for him to stay in.
Yeah,
he isn't allowed to be human there, and it's why he feels
no one
human.
turns out like that. No one turns out like that through nothing.
So like Aina Koji is a genuinely extremely traumatized person, despite the fact that he probably wouldn't even consider that as an aspect of him.
Oh yeah, definitely not. He thinks he's just him, which he is him, but not in the way that we want. He's fucking traumatized.
Because like I want to see him smile. It actually is a similar motivation for me to why I really like Aqua from Oshinoko. Just the whole idea of I want him to feel something again. I feel like it's even stronger with Aqua, because like you get to see what he's like before he got traumatized. But Aina Koji is a very valid way of writing something like that as well, because the idea of someone who's always been traumatized is an idea where it makes it a lot harder for you to picture him being happy ever. And with how long the anime's gone and how many volumes the anime rushed through, it makes it feel like it won't be particularly likely for us to see anything to change in Aina Koji. And yet, despite that, I still have that hope. And because of that, I really, really, really am so excited to see what they're gonna do with Classroom of the Elite next.
Damn. I can't wait long enough, so I'm gonna read it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to wait.
I don't know when I'm gonna start reading it. I should probably do it sooner than later. I don't fucking know. I haven't watched much light novels, read much light novels, so I haven't gotten like the entry level shit.
I read a lot, so I should be alright.
Yeah, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, in terms of like season specific stuff, I think that yeah, split into like 4 or so arcs probably. I might be oh no, it's split into like 5. When I say it like that, holy shit. There's like that arc at the beginning, which is pretty forgettable. The one with Ichinose, which is pretty good, because, I mean, she's always been a character that's been alluded to, and getting to see more of her is nice, and getting to see her backstory and all that, and the fact that...
Yeah.
It's so wholesome to see just how trusted she is by Class B, where she can say...
Honestly.
Where she can say, yeah, I am technically a criminal, and all of them are going to be like, oh, but you're proving yourself as a good person, so, like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
And then, so I was like, haha, eat shit, Sakai Nagi. And then the arc after that, because like, and then after the Ichinose arc, Sakai Nagi's like, okay, Ayana Koji, it's time to doodle. And then but then after that, it gets announced, oh, they're gonna be taking someone out of each class. And like, that arc has some genuinely really high stakes and tension. Because like, despite the fact that most of the, because the adaptation is on the rushed end, a lot of the characters aren't particularly fleshed out. So it kind of only really comes down to a few where like you actually give a shit about like the tension it creates and but like it still does do a solid job at what it's trying to do, and like it's still a very tense arc where you're like, holy shit, what's actually gonna happen? Constant twists and turns. It harkens back to like the whole psychological aspect of Classroom of the Elite, which I think is important because that is like what the main draw of the series is before we all started to actually give a shit about Ayana Koji. Because we weren't super fans of Ayana Koji like by episode 1, of course. It took time for that to happen.
It took big time, but I mean, he's one of my favorite anime characters of the time. Personally,
I fucking love Ayana Koji. He's so good. And then after that arc, it's the one where we finally get to see Ayana Koji and Sakai Nagi go at it, and it is so fucking good. Like, the arc is constantly tense. The fact that Ayana Koji had to be fucking nerfed in order for him to lose was like...
And the fact that he doesn't say anything about it, he doesn't even mention it. Even afterwards, they're like, oh, why'd you lose? And it's like, oh, she was just good.
Yeah, he's just... It's such a good arc too, because like, I genuinely thought Ayana Koji was just gonna win without any interference and just kick Sakai Nagi's ass, and that Sakai Nagi would be written out of the series after that. But no, since she did technically win, it means that she gets a chance to be more involved with the plot more, which I think is a great thing, because her knowing about the White Room while none of the other characters do creates a link between them that I think has so much potential. And like, don't get me wrong, Sakai Nagi is not nearly as much of a genius as Ayana Koji is, and Ayana Koji's probably gonna brush her off because of that. But like, come on, that link between them, oh man, the ship potential is right there, guys. God damn it, why am I the only one who sees it?
You're not the only one, you're just wrong.
Fuck you. It's funny too, because I was a Karo Izawa shipper back in season 2 as well.
I still am, mate. I still am.
I switch my ships more than I switch my wives. I had to pay much child support, it's ridiculous.
You switch your ships, then like 3 weeks later it didn't pay off, did it?
I switched my ships more than I switched my Discord PFPs. By that's generally all I have to say about Classroom of the Elite Season 3. Very good as always. Really enjoyed watching it. In my opinion, it definitely was the highlight of the season for me. It was what I was most excited to watch every week. And that's about all I have to say. Any closing thoughts you have related to the season?
I think this season was, it wasn't as good as the seasons that we've had previous, but that's not because this season's bad. I think the seasons that have come before have just been incredible. This season was still pretty decent. We had some good series, you know, Classroom of the Elite, Book 3 Diaries, some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's good. I'm looking forward to next season. We'll be back here in a couple months.
Yeah, because spring season is fucking stacked. So much shit's coming out.
Yeah.
And the only anime we have in common next season is fucking Blue Archive. How the hell did that happen?
Is it Blue Archive? I think that's something else.
Oh no, My Hero Academia season 7 too, right?
Oh yeah, that too, yeah.
Yeah, although we probably won't be watching that together. We'll be doing the Blue Archive watch parties. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That'll be a trip.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm definitely excited to watch everything coming out next season. I am not excited for the prospect of how much time it's gonna take out of my life.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I already know that 2 of the series next season are S tier, and that alone has me excited. So like, next season's video is gonna be better than this. I swear to God. But yeah, that should be all. I guess it's time for me to
outro time.
I gotta do the cringe outro. All right, gamers, and gamers. That was the shitty video about fucking anime and what we watched in this season, because we prefer watching anime over getting bitches.
Yeah, we put the gay in gamer.
Indeed. Alright guys, we will see you later. I wanna fucking kill myself.
Bang!